Hello, this is Catherine Dubberly, the Answer Lady. Today let's look at the backward loop method of casting on for needle knitting, old-fashioned hand knitting. This is the first method I was taught when I was a little girl, and therefore I assumed that everybody knew it. But it turns out they do not, and I've been asked about it, so here it is. I'm going to show you how to cast on with the backward loop method. It begins, as so many do, with one loop knotted into a strand of yarn. That strand just hangs. Now we break up the yarn in 2 fingers, twist it, see it make a backward loop, and pop it on. Tighten it up a little, but only just enough to encircle the knitting needle, because you're going to have to work into that loop. Pinching the yarn, twisting it backwards, popping it on. Pinch, twist, pop, pinch, twist. Miss? That's not what you should do. But it's so cool because it's very easily fixed if you miss one. Try to get these even. For those of you who machine knit, I think this is comparable to the E-wrap method of casting on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So far we have 7 stitches. It's very easy to count and tell where you are in the cast on. And see, you're making little almost knots at the bottom by looping it backward. What happens if you just loop it? No knots, and you don't have anything that you can knit into. But if you bring the yarn toward yourself, catch it in your fingers, form a loop, and pop it onto the needle, you do have something to knit into. I'm going to undo this and do it again from another angle of cameras, so that if you didn't catch it the first time, maybe looking at it this way will be easier. Yarn tail hanging down, backward loop, backward loop, backward loop. From this angle I'm able to work without getting the camera in my way, and you can see how smooth and easy it is to arrange. What have we got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. One more stitch. Let me get the other needle and knit the first row for you. Do the first row with a little bit of care. It's not as easy as the other rows will be. 1. Now, of course, once we've knitted the stitch now, but it still has to slide off the left needle onto the right. There you go. And the loop will tighten as you knit and slide off the first one. The next loop will tighten, so you need to adjust it back. All of this can be done with a flick of the needle tip once you're used to it. I do not think it's the easiest row. I think the cast on, or the row following the cast on, is the hardest row of the whole project, but it's not that hard. You do want to be careful not to split the stitch because of that tendency for your backward loop to tighten around the needle. You need to work your needle into the stitch, see right there? And if I didn't, it would want to split like that, but you can always avoid it. Just go slowly. And there we are. You can see the nice, neat yarn loops. If I pull on them, you can see how easily you could crochet into that. If I spread them out, you can see how elastic, or how much stretch there is. It's not really elasticity because they don't pull back in, but I could also work from the bottom of this and work ribbing into it later if I wanted to. For now, let me get a little yarn, slack up here and knit you the first row after the cast on, and you'll see how much easier the next row is. Because of course now these stitches are properly sized, they don't tighten up in a surprising way, and you can just clip along. I'm using bamboo needles because I really love the way they feel, and I find that it's less tiring to knit, and somehow the way the stitches slide on them suits me. I know other people have other preferences sometimes, but this is definitely mine. There you go. Perhaps this is something you can use and enjoy. Happy knitting, and bye now.